Hello, Capricorn. Thank you very much for tuning into your your general read. This week is general. For the main part of the read, I'm using Witch's Tarot by Ellen Dugan. For supportive oracle cards, Wisdom of the House of Night. And on the back here it says who it's by, but if you look it up online, you should easily find that. I do believe Amazon still sells that deck. I want to do face down for some reason. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, now for some reason your cards and what's actually happening in the center here, which seems to be just one card, it's all face down, which I'm wondering if it's just kind of like one of those things where you have to handle it as it happens. So I feel like as this keeps going forward, my first thought is as things are happening, you just kind of handle it as it keeps happening. Now, the first thing I'm seeing in the environment is the Ten of Pentacles, which seems very good. And I feel like this is like explaining like what the situation has been. And what we have for you is as you're coming into this situation, as the situation has been, as it's been going, as you're used to it being, you've got the Ten of Wands, which like there is some labored work here. You have to put in some effort. Even for you, I feel like there's a bit of effort here. Capricorns can get a lot done and they can handle a lot. I understand that. But even for you, there's a lot going on here, and there's a lot to juggle. Successful at it, yeah, I give you that, definitely. But it's still, I wouldn't say it was just easy, and you easily identified that not everybody could handle this load. But you have Oath also with it and Playful. Even though it's a lot, even though you keep up with it and you keep going, and it is a lot to do, you're very dedicated to it, and you have fun with it where you can. And I feel like when I see that Playful, it's like other people involved. You bring a bit of joy with that. You know that you can handle more than other people for some reason. Whoever you're dealing with, you're realizing that they get bored or they seem to flake off every now and then. And you're bringing some fun into it to keep them involved, to keep them engaged with the situation. So this is how you've been handling it up to this point. So the Ten of Pentacles then goes into the Ten of Cups. Everybody seems to be getting along. And what I'm getting here, in the center you have obedience. Now, when I'm feeling this, it's both ways. You make sure you don't cross certain lines. You don't say certain things. You don't address certain... You don't touch a wound, to put it that way. Like, if somebody, for example, has a cut in their arm, you're not poking it. Or if they have a sunburn, you know, when you have a sunburn and you have that annoying little kid that just keeps touching your sunburn, you're like, would you knock it off? You're not doing that. You're like, you see the sunburn, you see the wound, you're not causing a problem. Certain subjects, you're just not even going there because you're like, nope, we're doing well, we don't need to start fights, not going to do that. So this seems to be working very well. Everybody's getting along, you're getting along, you know how the situation's working. Now, by you holding the line and not touching certain situations, I feel like for the most part, the other energy you're dealing with, be it more than one person, whatever it may be, you're getting that same reciprocation for the most part. Because I do feel for most of you, you're dealing with somebody, or more than one person possibly, but at least one, who they say things, and they just say things that you could get upset about. You could start a conversation. You could legitimately kind of stir the pot, if you will. It could cause an argument. But I feel you with the obedience, kind of like, you seem to be looking at this person not like they're attacking you, but kind of like, yep, you always do that. And I feel you kind of thinking to yourself, yep, you always do that. And you're just kind of like, not today. I'm just not going to engage. I'm not going to address it. I'm not going to bite. I'm not going to get this going. So you are, as the Capricorn, coming across situations where somebody is saying something to you. You could easily trip over and start a situation about this. But you're like, no, they do this. That's just what they do. It's not worth the argument. It's just going to get me annoyed. Things are actually stable right now. Let's just keep them stable. Putting it to the side. So it's going well, but that's why you got the Ten of Cups. Everybody is getting along, especially because not only you, but other people are putting things to the side too. I just feel like somebody is saying something, and it's just it's catching you the wrong way, and you're like, I could start something about that, but I'm not gonna. And I feel like that's what's going on here. And ironically, I feel that energy also being matched on the other side. So it's almost like it's, like, what do you call it? Like, subconscious things are just coming out of people's mouths, or they're doing things subconsciously. It's like they're not purposely trying to get under your skin. I don't know if you'd believe that, but I just feel like that the energy's there. And I feel like it might be reciprocating. You might be getting on somebody else's nerve a little bit. You're not trying to, and I don't believe you would think you were. But it's like, it does feel like this tit for tat thing. You're just letting it go. They're following your lead. They're letting it go too, without realizing it. This energy is complementing. It's very complicated to me. You're getting along. Let's just leave it at that. Now, as this keeps going forward, somebody here you don't usually get along with. That's what's starting to pull in, and I think that's what I'm clicking with. You're both making the effort to not drive each other crazy, whoever it is you're dealing with, but you don't normally get along is what I'm getting. For whatever reason, you're both deciding we're just going to get along the best we can, and you are. You're doing well. The best you can is what I'm getting. They seem to be pulling back. As things keep going, I do see them getting a little stressed with the situation and having a harder time holding this line. I just feel like I don't see like either people being bad, you or them. Nobody's bad here, but your energies, the way they mix, it's usually there's a mismatch to some degree is what I'm getting. And they seem to be getting a little stressed, having a hard time keeping it in that level, but they want to keep things getting along. They like it that the both of you are getting along. So they're pulling back some. They got the Page of Swords, like they're still involved, they're still listening, but they're not engaging as much anymore. Because they're finding it hard to stay on that level, but they want to keep things getting along. They want to keep getting along with you. I just feel like they're finding it harder and harder to do because they know they're holding back things. Ironically, you might be like, well, they're not holding back all that much, but to them, they're holding back a lot. So they're starting to fade back just a little bit and being more observant than communicative. I see you with understanding and the Four of Swords. Now, you're trying to be more understanding with this. You know you're getting along with this person. You know it's usually strained. It's not a mystery to you at all. But with the Four of Swords, like I don't see you really happy that they're pulling back. And you're like, why are you pulling back? Like, stay engaged, stay involved. They're pulling back to take a break, but the way I feel your energy connecting, like, wait, where are you going? You got things to do. Like, don't drop the ball. Keep going. Like, I feel like you're looking at this energy like, hey. Don't go anywhere. You got things to do. Like don't fade away on me. But I also see you kind of like, all right, yeah. You also realize like they're pulling back because they need a break, and you're kind of like, don't go too far. Keep up your side of the bargain there, bud. I feel that energy, kind of like don't go too far. There's no problem here right now, but I feel like this is how you're handling this part. Like you're watching it. I don't see you really communicating with this person or trying to pull them back in. I do feel you a little uncomfortable with it. You want to say something. You're purposely not because you're like, I don't really want them pulling back and they have things they need to do, but let me just see how it plays out. I don't know. It's a little conflicting because you're like, this might go off course here. I don't really want them pulling back right now. You're allowing it. You're not saying anything, but it's not making you comfortable. You're a little uncomfortable with it. Let's do that. All right, so where is this going next? Your last two cards. You got Reminder with the Seven of Swords. So you hold off for a while. You do, but they're pulling back, and they're kind of fading away. You understand it to a degree why, but it's not okay. And you're like, no. I have my piece that I have to keep. You know, I'm upholding my side. You need to uphold your side. And I feel like you hold back as long as you can without saying anything, but finally you just give a reminder. And you got literally that card is a reminder. But you're communicating here. But when I'm feeling a reminder, I don't think you're coming forward just flat out like, don't forget you have responsibilities. I don't see you doing that. what I actually feel you coming in with this reminder feel, especially with the Seven of Swords, is like you're touching base with this person, and I see you kind of like saying, this is what I'm doing, this is what I've done, this is where I'm going, this is my, I'm keeping up with my responsibilities. You're just letting them know, you're like, I just want to keep you on point, I just want to keep you in the loop of what I'm doing, where I am, and where I'm going. And I feel you touching base with them, like, well, how are things with you? Where are you right now? Do you need help? I feel like you're trying to pull the do you need help card, kind of like, sort of reminding, but in a very nice way, kind of like, are you staying on point, but without being aggressive about it, just saying, oh, do you need help? You know what I mean? You're promoting it that way. You're trying to stay in this good, getting along feeling. You're trying to keep that going. And I feel like you're seeing that they're a little behind, like, it's up to you how far behind in your opinion they are. But what I'm getting here is you're finding out what they're needing. I don't see you really having to help this person, but I do feel like you're waking them up, like, all right, I see you're fading away, but don't fade away too far because you've got some responsibilities here. Keep up with them. But you're not aggressive about it. You're just like, I feel that do you need help coming out? And it's reminding them in the nicest way you could come across with it. I feel like that's what's happening. But the Seven of Swords is like you're just touching on this once and you're walking away. Because when you do this, I do see them kind of like feeling like that one of those moments, like, oh God, I'm falling behind. The Capricorn's going to get upset with me. I got to catch up. And I'm feeling that energy, like I got to catch up. And I feel like they're getting right back in line. They're getting things back on track. I feel like they're actually trying to not only get back to where they should be, but trying to get ahead so they can get ahead of the games. So that way you're not displeased with them. So it is like you're doing a polite reminder. I don't feel like you're flat out saying, remember, you got to do that. I don't see that coming that way. I feel you more offering help, and that's kind of like jogging the memory, kind of like, I'm keeping an eye on you. Please make sure you stay on point. And they're getting nervous about it, but they're getting back on track and trying to get ahead a little. This is actually where this part of the reading is going to end, I'm feeling, because I feel like they're trying, and for now, I feel like this is okay for now. I also see, like, as this keeps going point by point, you're just going to have to roll with it as it keeps going. But for right now, they're gonna get back online and try to get ahead a little bit. I feel like you need to know they're going to try to get ahead a little bit. That could throw things off for you a little bit by them going ahead of schedule a little bit. Depends on what you're doing and how they add into yours. It could throw things off slightly. So be aware of it, that they're going to be behind a little bit when you remind them, however you decide to do that. Then they're going to get ahead a little bit. Ironically, when they're behind a little bit, that throws you off a little bit. When they get ahead a little bit, that throws you off a little bit. It's not destroying anything, but I feel like you're kind of like shaking your head, like, can't you just stay on point? Can't you just stay in pattern? Can't you just keep up with everybody else? It's just not working that way. That's not how this person works. Where this goes next, it's kind of an open thing. If you see it, I feel like you can plan for it, because they're either going to be a little behind or a little ahead, and it just feels like I feel like I'm playing a volleyball game, like a little behind, then we're a little ahead, a little behind, a little ahead. I feel like as this keeps going forward, the fact that they're just not staying at the level everybody else, just keeping pace with everybody else, that does seem to get under your skin at some point. It is going to become a problem at some point. I was trying to get around it, but I do feel like it's going to, because it's either they're behind or they're ahead. They're behind or they're ahead, and I just feel like you're getting annoyed with it. After a while, you will get annoyed with it. So if possible, you might want to involve a third party to kind of help that person regulate, or maybe keep an eye on that person. That might make you feel better. But they're saying realize that will get under your skin after a while. Like behind or ahead, behind or ahead. It's going to get under your skin is what I'm getting. Alright. I'm going to let that be there. Wrap this up there. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.